Well, Lloyd Turner, congratulations. Our fans and so-called panel of experts has named you one of the 20 greatest barnstormers of all time. And I think it was that 2008 season. Your record for triples and walks still holds. So that's quite a while back, and it's quite a long time to hang on to a couple of such records.
You know what, man? 2008, 2009, once I got released from Oakland and Vaughn Hayes came over to Lancaster and he kind of brought me over, it was like for me, obviously the goal was to still get an opportunity to get back and play affiliated ball. I didn't, have much, I didn't know much about indie ball. I just knew like, if I ever got released, I didn't want to play indie ball, but I was so happy that, I was able to come over to Lancaster and find Lancaster as my home for 3 seasons and be able to play. I think it was like just a renewed sense of just joy and kind of just freedom, to be able to just go out and play the game that I love. Obviously, everyone has a dream to get to the big leagues, but just getting out there and just being in that atmosphere amongst all the fans and the great teammates that I had, I wouldn't have been able to accomplish the things that I had accomplished um, without, the fans and again just having great teammates around. So um, I am just I feel blessed and just fortunate, to have done those things and to see that, what I did, is still holding up.
It was 3 years there, 2 years in Camden. And one of the things we always hear about the Atlantic League, so many people have said this over the years that it's the most fun they've had playing baseball. And you seem to have that thought in your mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what kind of surprised me the most was just, there were ex big leaguers, in the league. Um, Ross Peoples was someone that I went to college with, and then to see that he was still playing. A lot of guys that I played with in Oakland, Vaughn brought them over as well. And so I think once I got there and just realized just the caliber of baseball and the professionalism um, that was there, it just really, like I said, it just really made you feel like, you were playing uh, somewhat at a high level. And that's all you really ever want to do as a baseball player is play at the highest level that you could possibly play. And it be a challenge, and the Atlantic League definitely, provided that for sure.
Since you left the Atlantic League in your playing days, you've had a opportunity to go back to the Oakland organization. You're now, I guess you would consider yourself to be a veteran minor league coach and instructor. And well, you've got a pretty good gig going. You get to stay in Phoenix now and work at the camp all year, and that's where home base is. And you got some youngins running around, so life is
Yes.
good, I guess.
No, definitely. When the coaching thing, when it started, obviously every year you kind of like looking for a job, to go back and play baseball. And our farm director, Keith Littman, he was our farm director. He's retired now, but great guy. Um, I would always call and say, "Hey, look, this is what I did this previous season. Are there any spots?" And you know, he would, you know, graciously just say, "Hey, look, you're just probably better off where you are because you're going to get more at bats there." Probably not the answer you want to hear as a player, but that's just the way things kind of fell. And so then finally, after that, my last season in Camden, um, I was on my way home and I had received a phone call from him asking, what I was doing, if I was planning on going back into play. And, it was at that moment where I just kind of was like, my wife was pregnant, and it's like, man, you know what? I'd given it my all in the game of baseball. And it was kind of one of those things where if I want to continue to be in the game, you know, I could I can coach many more years than I can play, you know? So it's like, why not go ahead and start that new chapter or that journey? And so I'm glad I made that decision, started out as a hitting coach for a few years. I When I started, I knew I didn't want to necessarily be locked into just being a hitting coach. I wanted to kind of like I was as a player, right? Just kind of play all the positions. So I was a hitting coach, then kind of found my way into running the outfield program, like 3 4 years into it. And then that job, doing that kind of got me the managing job that I had kind of wanted. And then I did that for a couple of years, but COVID kind of happened. And and then they offered me to come back to Arizona, not as a demotion, but to kind of start diving more into the technology side of hitting, um, just using more of the technology. Um, Obviously, in the game of baseball, they're bringing more than just your quote unquote baseball people in the game, and so I figured, like, you know what, I'm a baseball guy, and if I can kind of learn ins and outs of using the technology and kind of migrate that with what I've learned, I guess kind of that old school mentality of hitting with this new school mentality, then we might have something. And so, fortunately, that's what I'm doing now. So now I'm a coordinator with the A's, not the hitting coordinator, but I'm the hitting development coach. And I love it. I feel like there's a little niche there. And I am truly able to, help these young men who aspire to be big leaguers, get to the big leagues by, integrating some of the newer technologies and that have come into the game.
And you were able to help the Barnstormers out again too by sending Melvin Mercedes our way
Oh,
a few years ago, and what a few seasons he had in Lancaster. I think it was you who told Ross how much the fans would love watching him play, and they did. Defensive Player of the Year in the Atlantic League 2 years
oh
in a row.
wow.
Had scored over 100 runs last year. Developed some pop in his bat. He hit like a dozen home runs the year before. And he's gone on to play in Mexico this year. But we had some fun watching Melvin for a few years. He was sensational. So thanks for sending him our way. And if you can find any others,
I know.
we'd be more than happy to take them right now.
No, I know. I love it. I know Ross. Again, Ross is a really, really good friend of mine. Great teammate again, like I said, and we talk, all the time. If not talk, he sends me texts. He asks me about players and stuff like that. And again, like I said, I'm coaching because I want to help. I want to see these guys get the same opportunities that we had, and so someone like Melvin Mercedes, he was there when I first started coaching, so he kind of, as a player, welcoming me into that world again, and me being able to kind of teach him, the BJ Boyds, that have been through Lancaster as well. Um, I'll forever, have, something in my heart for those guys, and to see those guys excelling and doing well in the game of baseball, it means everything. That's what, keeps me going on a daily basis.
Well, it's great to hear, and obviously you're having an impact, an organization that I guess at the minor league level is doing all right. The major league level, I guess, can't make too much of an investment right now until the future gets situated a little bit. But I'm sure if the move to Las Vegas happens, then it's going to be all systems go, and they're going to want that farm system to be able to be very, very productive and really make a big splash, I would imagine.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Going into this spring training, you're always excited to see, what the talent, your guys, what they've gone home, and worked on in the off season and have come back with. And so it's always great to see guys come back a little bigger, a little stronger, a little faster. Um, Being able to have a renewed sense in way of like uh being able to go home and assess, right? Basically assess how their season went the year before and just come back with a renewed mindset. And I can honestly say, like, just kind of watching, from the big league side, even on the minor league side, like, uh, I love the energy that we have right now. There's a lot of great talent, young talent that we have in the organization. So I'm definitely excited to see how this season goes, not only in the big leagues, but also, on the minor league side as well. And I think, there'll be a lot of guys that's going to get an opportunity, to showcase their talent. But I definitely think that we're headed in the right direction for sure.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go because you got the youngins you need to take care of, and well, here on the East Coast, it's past my bedtime. So, but we'll keep in touch through the season. Lloyd, again, congratulations on being named one of these 20. If there's ever a chance for you to pop into Lancaster, I
I
know
will
it's really
definitely.
really tough on your schedule, but we'd love to get as many of you guys back as we can.
No, no, no doubt about it. We love it there. My wife loves it there. I love it there. The host families that we had while being in Lancaster truly were like, parents, to us. So um definitely we will be making our way back at some point for sure.